All right, to make this quick, because I gotta go. I'm basically already late. I cut myself on the friggin' bike, the stunt pegs, and basically, as you can see, the VFR, red VFR is here, and the BMW is there, standing up on its own. Look at that. So good, so good. So I ended up taking the time to actually put in the chalk. I got it to work. I gotta fill some holes that I accidentally drilled because I didn't look at the instructions properly, but yeah, BMW is here. Basically, I got it in, kind of leaning over still, but chalk is there. It's one chalk down. I still have another one to use because it's not completely finished yet. I wanted to, remember the idea is to have the VFRs out of here, but I figured this one was kind of getting in the way, so I'm going to put it here. And since I'm using the stunt grum more, I'm going to put it here. Originally, well, the final idea, I guess, is to have both bikes sort of there and there, or there and there. So the BMW will be here and will be basically held in place until, you know, we take it out whenever we need it. But anyways, I gotta go. I gotta move this stuff, get it away. Make sure this freaking thing isn't leaning like it's is now, because you can see it's still leaning over. All right, so this is the final thing. Again, I was kind of in a rush, but basically I got it the way I wanted. So it actually seems more spacious just like this. Just like this by itself. So I'm happy with the way it turned out. I had to come back, clean it up a little bit more, but I do have to get this door done. I still haven't waterproofed it, but I do have this stuff thought out. God, this cut, oh, I gotta really rinse this off. Holy jeez. But yeah, I'm gonna get out of here because I gotta go. Appreciate y'all. So we're back in the truck shop and not much has changed. I've come back after doing the door, and as you can see, I'm currently just caulking the exposed gaps, I should say. I wanted to not just put it on there, but sort of like press it. So I've been pressing it with my finger across just to make sure it kind of covers it pretty evenly. Most would kind of just smear it, but I'm just doing this for now just because I was going to use just my finger to smear it, but then I was like, well, I think more coverage gives me a little bit more to work with, just like this, if that makes sense. I'm trying to keep an eye on this because it keeps just oozing out, which is really annoying. Yeah, I was thinking about doing it like this, but I felt like I would just have a ton extra left over. But if we look at it from the outside, which I haven't done yet, I mean, obviously you won't be able to see anything, but it's meant to just seal that gap that's there. And I was gonna do for both doors, so I'm gonna have to do the bottom next, but I'm almost done with the top side. I found some extra shelves that I will be able to use for storage on the left side of the shop, because I don't know if I basically explained it to y'all, but as I said, the VFRs are meant to not be in the shop, and so we'll have a lot more extra space, meaning we can have the bikes. I want to have the bikes on the right side and basically storage and things and important stuff on the left side. At some point, after we do get the VFRs out of here, I was thinking about, honestly, I know I was talking about what kind of storage to put them in, and I was talking about storage units and things like that. I believe the best option I've come up with is a trailer, because it happens that this truck actually has a tow hitch, so it would just make sense, especially if this is my workshop and these are show bikes. It would make sense to keep them with me at all times if we are working. So I believe that's the best option, and that's what I'm going to go for. I've weighed the option of possibly buying a cheap flatbed trailer and sort of building an enclosed space for the bikes myself, sort of like I did for this door, just kind of out of wood, and then, you know, reinforcing it sort of thing. I've thought about that, but I've also considered, you know, just buying a already enclosed trailer, which would be, I want to say, better built, but, you know, if I was to build it myself sort of like this, like I did with the doors, then I get that customization option, right? And I get to use my own ideas, sort of thing. So that's just what I was thinking, but let me know what y'all think if you have any ideas. But as of right now, I'm just kind of going back and forth between those two options. I picked up a sheet for the bed, just something for right now, because again, I'm trying to get this box sealed up, and done basically before summer, at least so stuff doesn't get in. My main issue is that there is some pretty big gaps, mainly like on the hinge side of the bottom door and the hinges in the middle, and obviously up top, which I believe I'm going to try and it's gonna have to be something flexible or something on the outside that can cover it when it's closed. I'm thinking of some sort of like rubber like barrier, if that makes sense, sort of a like a middle piece, something that would sit on the outside and just kind of flex with it as it opens. But yeah, I don't know quite yet, but I'm just trying to think of ideas because there's, you know, still some openings that I have to clear. But anyways, I'm gonna get back to this. I'm gonna finish it up. Okay, so we are here on the outside of the truck. I'm gonna give you a quick tour of what I did. So the gap that was bothering me, I just kind of caulked it all, like every bit of the corner here where I thought it might be getting in. So this bit here that I did is a seam that goes across the entire top, like the front of the box here, and I didn't totally get all the way across because I'm not sure if it's just this corner or if it's this seam that's like collectively picking it up and just running it down to this side. So I'm gonna wait, see how it basically fares after doing all this, and then if it's no better, then it's most likely just that large seam at the top. I'm hoping that it is just this corner, because that would be very helpful. As you can see, I wasn't able to get rid of the old stuff because it is like rock hard and I'd have to chisel it. It's not very an ideal situation, so I kind of just caulked over it. Any spots that I thought were problematic, basically this whole corner piece, which I think is what's letting in the water. Either that, as I said, or the bit there, the front seam on the top. So we'll see afterwards when it rains, because it's supposed to rain this whole week basically. I will have to come back at some point when it is raining and just have quickly an observation to see if it leaks or not. As of right now, that's done, and you can see the whole door. So I almost tripped on the outside of it. The whole outside door in its glory. This is it. Like this is how it's made, or how it's set up, right? I'm literally standing on the old one because I had to disassemble it into like pieces I can just throw in the car and then toss it in the dumpster. So I have yet to do that. I'm not gonna do it today. This thing is terrible. I have some bits to finish waterproofing on the door. Some parts that were sanded down because the door sort of catches on the sides too. So that's not good, but I'm happy with the way it's turned out. As I've already said this, I'm very pleased with the way it's turned out. As it is right now, I think I'm just gonna put some like rubber bumpers or like barriers just on the outside of this so it covers the seam when it's closed. And the same thing, well, at least for this side, like I have to put some more wood in the gap there just because there's too big of a gap to cover with a bumper. But we're gonna figure it out. We're gonna get it done. I'm going to wrap up here. This hole, actually real quick, this hole here in the side of the box, like at the back where it was probably reversed into something, I was thinking about caulking. I'm gonna bring the concrete sort of caulking home to see if it'll thaw or something. I don't know if it's just completely hardened, but I was just gonna cover it with something for now because it is a pretty big gap and it's not something I can just easily caulk over and be okay with. So I'm gonna cover it with something, put something in there, and then see about filling it, because that's a pretty big gap and I really don't like that. I still have yet to install the reverse camera. I have it in the truck, I just haven't, it's been like sort of on the back burner. I kind of not my main priority, but I do have to just basically mount it here and then hook it into one of these lights and it'll work. That's actually pretty convenient. So I'm gonna get the stuff back in the truck and I'm going to finish a waterproof real quick on this and then I'm gonna get out of here because I don't really have much else to do today. All right, so as you can see, kind of looks like a nest or something, but I got the hole filled, covered up. I'm not gonna say exactly what I used to fill it because it's not very ideal, but I got it filled. It's covered. It's pretty jam tight, so I'm not worried about anything getting through. I'm just gonna finish up here, waterproofing. Use this to kind of jam it. Yeah, that's about it for today because I gotta get out of here. But I've got the bottom door waterproofed or sealed in those gaps. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I've got all the holes sealed that I wanted to. The inside, oops, that was the caulking. The inside, I was gonna say, I haven't caulked that because I'm pretty sure if I do the outside well enough, it won't come through. But if I have to, I will do the inside too. I did get this hole here, the one that I first noticed when I got the truck, this gap. We'll see how it holds up. When I went up top, I saw the caulking that it came through, so it should hold, hopefully. But other than that, that's all the seams that I know of, obviously, excluding the door. So, anyways, I'm gonna finish up here. Appreciate y'all. As you can see, we're back in the truck, and I'm here trying to get some stuff done because I actually did happen to get another battery. It's just another 1.5 amp hour battery, but it doubles my work time, so I'm all right with it. I got a vacuum with it, so that's kind of cool. It's pretty shit vacuum though, I'll be honest. As you can see, I was trying to adjust the door, or at least maybe shim it down a bit to size, but I realized after doing this cut with the jigsaw that it wasn't really going to work out. So I decided the best course of action was to honestly just take the top 2x4s off of both and then just cut off the desired amount on each standing 2x4. So this is about 3/4. I got to take off 3/4 of an inch, and then this is 3/4 of an inch, and I'm not familiar with like measuring tape lingo, but like 3 lines added on because there's a bit of a gap here space wise. This one's a little lower than this one, so I'm going to take these off as I got this one off mostly already, as you can see. Just got to get these last 2 off, but I'm gonna get this done. I'm gonna cut off the desired amount, and then I'm gonna mount it back together, and then it should close the way it's meant to, because as it is right now, I just don't like how it's closing, and it's not very nice. I did want to make note, the corner, it's been raining the past few days, and I want to say for the most part it's been leak free, but I went over there just earlier and found a little bit of water, so I'm not sure exactly where it is coming in from, but I'm going to try and seal up the inside corner as much as I can, because I genuinely don't know where it's coming in from. Like, I thought I covered every inch of that corner well enough, but I guess not. So I'm gonna finish this up. Alrighty, it is done. I gotta re-waterproof some parts that I cut, but it's finally actually closed. Like, this is closed. I'm gonna shave off a bit on this side because it is still like kind of catching on the frame, but you can probably hear it. That's it, kind of just caught. It's just a little tight, but I'm gonna try and shave some of that down. So I'm happy with it though. I'm happy I got it figured out. Like, there's a good amount of space. This is how it was supposed to be, but I ended up, you know, obviously with problematic clearance issues, not factoring in the hinges on the top. So we learn from the mistake, but this is good. This is good. Well, it is done. Oh geez. Sorry, I just cleaned this. I was just doing the adjustment on that, and I'm about to see if it fits or not. I'll just use the jigsaw to Should have cut it down a bit more. But as you already saw, the bottom is adjusted. I fixed all that I could. The what's it called? The shim. I shimmed this bit here. There is still some small gaps, like here, and at the bottom below the hinge. So I've got a bit more pieces of wood I can put in there, so I'm going to cut those up probably next time, because it so happens that I'm down to 2 bars on this battery, and this one's already dead. To be fair, it is good that I have the 2 batteries, because I wouldn't have been able to do as much as I did today with just the one. I do believe that the jigsaw takes a little bit more power than the drill, which I guess makes sense, you know, seeing as what it does. But it's good. It's going good. But unfortunately, I wanted to get the hatch done today as well, thinking that I'd have more battery life with the 2, but unfortunately it didn't last as long as I wanted. So I'm going to do that next time, because I wanted to just focus on this one thing at a time. I think I'm gonna try and seal some gaps before I leave, because I've got a bit of a gap here that didn't totally set, and I wanted to do the tops of these because they're kind of uneven and not very connected. So I will also try and do the corner up there, just so I can get it out of the way and hopefully get rid of that leak, because that's the biggest one so far. That's going to be problematic if it continues, you know, into the future, because I need to get it sealed up before I do insulation. Not that I have the money to do insulation anytime soon, but you know, I gotta do that before I do the insulation, because I have to take off the boards and get the insulation behind the boards and the slots, and it's gonna be a whole thing. I've gotta put some more screws into this. I was just realizing why it was so wobbly. It's because I'm missing some screws. But yeah, I also need to put the bike back up on the wall so it's out of the way, and I can shift it over more, so that's good. Get it more out of the way. As I said previously, I do have some extra shelves that I found that I'm going to put up at some point. One of them needs to be sort of finished. It's like a cabinet, but it's just missing some things, some little things. So I'm going to do that at some point. But I have noticed that I should put some handles on this bottom door and the top door, just to make it easier to move, because I'm kind of just grabbing random parts of the wood, and it's not ideal. So but if anybody has any ideas, or hey, if you got some extra tools that might be useful, definitely send them my way, because right now my biggest thing is just battery life. I'm going to need a bigger battery. I've been looking at a 4 amp hour battery to get. It's like $70. It's a lot of money, but it is what it is. We'll get it at some point. But if anybody's got any old tools, definitely let me know. But hey, I'm gonna finish up here. That's what I'm doing, so I can get out of here, because I've been here for a while. So alright, well, I'm almost running out of the window caulking that I have there, so I'm going to try and be sparing with what I have for the door, because I haven't done the top bit that I was talking about. But I thought a more pressing issue would be this, so I've decided to try and caulk what I could access in the corner here. Because as I know, the water drips from this point here. Like, it drips off of this lip. And so that would mean that the water's coming in from above, would it not? I had that in mind, and I caulked basically that whole corner, doing what I could. And if it is still leaking, I will most likely have to take this big piece of wood off, which is going to be kind of a pain if I want to put it back up, which I will. to do and have a look behind there, although I shouldn't have to, because as I said, I'm fairly certain the leak is coming in just above that metal lip, because that's where I seen it dripping when I first found it, and that's how I kind of think it's coming in. But I will leave it for now. It's still supposed to rain more, so I'm gonna have to come back when it does rain some more to have a look to see if I've fixed it. But I may just leave this, honestly, because it's not a problem, because let me show you. You may have remembered when I originally built the door, I added this lip. I left it on here so that it covers, a good portion of the door when it's closed. I'm all right with this for now. I was going to, we'll see. I'll probably just get more caulking. You can see the door is really coming together, and I'm very happy with how it's turned out so far. The next thing after pretty much this would be, well, at least for the door, would be like double waterproofing it and just weatherproofing it in general, because like this is good for now. Like it works. It was just raining earlier and you could see the water just beating on it and rolling off, so that's good. Like it's working, but I do want to add a second layer. I was talking about a truck bed liner, so I may do that, or I may just settle with paint. I'm not exactly sure yet, but whatever I settle on, obviously y'all will know. And I got the bike back up out of the way. For now, it's just temporary, because remember the bike, I wanted to get out of here as well. So when I do get said trailer, I'm going to move the bike in there with the VFRs. I think that's about it for today though, because I don't really have much else to do, I think I've done all that I needed to or wanted to accomplish today. My batteries are almost dead, so I'm gonna head out. I appreciate y'all. Alright, so I finished everything up, and as I was talking about, you can see there the gaps, the shim gaps that I need to fill. So 1, 2, and 3, they're basically all the same size. And a quick note on what I was talking about, the bumper that I wanted to do for this gap here on the top. I wanted to just use some sort of like rubber like thing to cover over that will bend with it as it goes up, and will cover this when it's closed. I'm hoping that I can get something good enough to cover it, but this turned out much better. I honestly, this is so much better than it was before I fixed it. This was what the original idea was supposed to look like, and it's come to pass. Like this is it, bro. This is my shit, man. This is it. I do believe that I will cover up some of the gaps, or at least fill the holes where the screws are, just for aesthetic purposes. Just cover them with something, whether it's some caulking or just hole filler. I'm not sure yet, but if y'all have any ideas, let me know. But this is it. This is the door on my workshop. It is done. Shut up, crow. This is it, man. I'm happy with it. Next is the loft. The loft needs to be done. I want to do it because it costs less to do the loft than it costs to do the insulation, and I can still do that. I just have to maneuver it a little bit and kind of play around with it, get creative, but I can do it. So I do believe I'm going to try and do the loft next. And then after that, I'm going to try and get some mechanical things done on the truck, because I do need a new tire. It still hasn't been safety checked, but all the tires are good except for this one. This one is kind of flat and it's cracking. So unfortunately it's not really that safe to use anymore. But it's, as you can see, still has got a lot of tread in it, but that cracking there is not desirable. Like I actually found the pump, the hoses on the back there, so I can pump them up, But yeah, this one's definitely got to be replaced at least. I'm going to have to buy new batteries because remember I originally had batteries. Now I've been friggin' downgraded to some really bad ones, and unfortunately they're just not gonna cut it. But once this thing is up and running properly, I will have good batteries in it, and it will be used consistently to the point where I won't have to worry about taking the batteries home and charging them. So yeah. It is what it is. We're at a sort of middle ground with the truck, but I'm happy at the point it is. I will also try and figure out how to hook up that reverse camera at some point. I just got to find the wiring for these lights in there. They're sort of tucked away somewhere. I might have to get rid of the spring because I haven't removed that yet, but it's just a process. So I'm going to try and find those when I install the lights, not the lights, when I install the reverse camera. That's about it. As I said, I am going to get a trailer for this because I do have a hitch, which is great, absolutely great. It'll allow me to tow some stuff, being, you know, the other bikes. So anyways, I'm gonna head out. I appreciate y'all for sticking with me through this process. This was actually very fun, and I really enjoy doing hands-on stuff like this, so it's it's not really that taxing. It's just honestly really fun, and it helps gain experience in like things that I wouldn't normally be doing otherwise. So I can move those skills to other projects in the future and learn from what I failed on this project and so on and so forth. So yeah, appreciate y'all though. I'm gonna head out of here. Screw this door, it's garbage. I'm done.